Hello everyone, Von Marie here and welcome to the Kat Scrappiness YouTube channel. So we're going to make a holiday card today and we're going to be using two of these new stencils. I have the pretty pines, aren't those trees pretty? And then we have the sunburst background. These are both 6x6 stencils, and then this is the small poinsettia die set, craft die set that I'm going to use today. There's also a large one. So I am going to be ink blending the Pretty Pine stencil, and I'm using Rustic Wilderness Distress ink, and I'm just using my magnets, and I'm using my black detailed blending brush to get in all the nooks and crannies in those trees. And I love the result afterwards, and I love all these different sized trees. There's even some stars if you wanted to do the stars a different color. I just chose to do one color for this stencil, but I'm sure it would be pretty on with a bunch of different colors or even on white cardstock. I chose craft for this project, and I had no idea when I was making this card what I was going to do with this stencil, and I'm glad I chose to use the small poinsettia craft die because it's really, really pretty, and I love all the lines and stitching, and it's just really pretty. Or maybe it's not stitching, but it's really easy to put together, and see how pretty that is, the pretty pines. And I love the flower petals and the leaves. It's such a pretty flower. So next is the sunburst background stencil, and I'm using some gold ink, but if you don't have gold ink, you can use gold embossing powder, or you can use like it's kind of like this gold ink's kind of like a yellowish brown. So I know there's you can mix like a brown with a yellow, or you could just find a distress ink that maybe looks similar. I know fossilized amber is kind of something similar. So, and I really like the way the sunburst stencil looks with the pretty pines. And I do use two different craft dies to cut these stencils out. I use a fall frame craft die, which I use all the time because it has an A2 stitched rectangle die. And then I'm going to be using some stitched rounded rectangle dies. And those are kind of still new from a couple releases ago, I believe. And Kat Scrappiness has so many wonderful craft dies and products, and this new holiday release was just fantastic. I loved it. So um, so right now it doesn't look too great, but I'm gonna cut it out with my rectangle die, and then next I'm gonna cut out that small poinsettia craft die, and I'm cutting out the petals first. So there is, I believe, four, and they're all different sizes. And you can use this for any color and maybe a different kind of project if you didn't want holiday. So I just love the shapes of these, and I'm just using some red cardstock, and it's kind of like a light red. And then I will use like a dark green for the leaves, but I'm going to, oh yeah, I was looking for the last one. So I need to get these on magnet ASAP. I was just being slow about it. So I am going to show you a few of these petals up close, I believe. And I am making this video. The sun's already going down, so I apologize that it's not so bright for my video this time. And I usually don't like to do that, but I was almost done, and I just wanted to get the video done. And so next I'm going to cut the leaves out, and I'm also cutting the center out with the gold cardstock. And then here's that rounded rectangle die that I love, and I'm going to cut the pretty pines out of that rectangle die, and then it'll be almost time to assemble. So here's my other card and that is what I'm making, a second card just like that. So here is the Pretty Pines rectangle die, and then here is the A2 stitched rectangle die that I love so much from the Fall Frame Craft dies, and I will have everything listed, and you can click on the product supply bar and it will take you directly to Kat Scrappiness store, or I will have my affiliate links also. And so I thought using this tool, the dual, I forget the name, but I have it listed and I use it all the time for to pick up my sequins and glue them down, but it worked perfectly to roll the petals and the leaves. So I love that. I love when you can use a tool for multiple things. So just doing the leaves there, and careful not to poke myself, so that's why I covered it. And next it's time to put everything together. So I'm gonna glue, I'm just wanting a little bit of glue to put those petals together. So just in the center there, because I kind of want it to pop up. I don't want it to be too flat. You can also use foam tape, but I'm just going to use my liquid glue. And then I will be using a sentiment from the Simple Sentiments Holiday Edition, and there is a coordinating die, and those sentiments are so fun. I love them, and I love all of them actually. So if you can, collect all the Simple Sentiments, because that coordinating die will cut all of them out for you. So you only have to buy one die, and then you can have tons of sentiments ready to go to make your projects come together easily. So I love that you can just put the glue there and you can use one leaf. I chose to die cut 2 of the leaves out, or 2 of the pairs, and it's going to go just like that in the corner. And I am putting the center. I was trying to see which way was the front because it's getting dark and I couldn't see too well. So I found which was the front, and then it's coming out a little, was coming out, the front was, or the front of the petal there is, I forget what it's called, was coming off, so I had to hold it down a little bit. So I'm just gluing everything to this green A2 card base, and so that is the background there with the sunburst stencil, and then I'm going to put the Pretty Pines on with some foam tape. And so that is where I'll have some dimension also with the poinsettia. And I will be using that sentiment with foam tape. And then I'm also going to be using some brilliant gold snowflake sequins that are my favorite. They remind me of gold stars, but they are snowflake. So you can use them however, but I've been using them like stars. So I'm just putting that on, and then I will put my flower there and my sentiment, and then I put a different sentiment than my first card. This one says Merry Christmas, and the other one said Merry and Bright, I believe. And I will show you both at the end. And I'm just gluing my flower, and then I'm going to put 5 of those brilliant gold snowflake sequins that I call stars. And I think they match, there they are, I think they match the background perfectly, so that's why I love them. And I was having trouble because they were flicking off of my tool, and so I had to grab some more. And I always have that problem sometimes when I'm filming. And I'm just going to be putting my last one, and then I will show you both of my cards. And I hope you like this card and liked my tutorial. And here are both cards in just a second, and here they are. So thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.